Welcome back. Today's lesson is about the conditionals. Now there are 4 conditionals. I put the categories right here: the general conditional, the future conditional, the present conditional, and the past conditional. Normally teachers don't teach this one here because they combine it with the future conditional, but I'll show you why this is a little bit different. This general conditional is something that is always true. An example would be if I go, I'm going to put the verb in red here, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. If I go to bed late, comma, I am tired the next day. I am tired the next day. If I go to bed late, I am tired the next day. I use the simple present in the if clause, and by the way, all the conditionals use the word if. That's why we call them conditionals. Because if this is not true, then this is not true. So this is the condition and this is the result. So if I go to bed late, I am tired the next day. This is always, always true. If I go to bed after midnight, 12:30, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, then when I get up the next day, I'm always tired. This is always, always true. And when it's always true, I use the present tense in the if clause. Remember, clauses are parts of the sentence. So I use the present tense in the if clause and the present tense in the main clause. So remember, there are 2 clauses in the conditional. The if clause is your dependent clause, and the main clause is the other clause. Notice I have the dependent clause first, so just like with adverb clauses, you need to put a comma after that in order to before the independent clause. So the grammar says you must put a comma after the dependent clause when it is first. Future, well, let me see, what can I say for the future? I can say if it rains, R-A-I-N-S, if it rains tomorrow, comma, I will bring my umbrella. I will bring my umbrella. Because I don't like to get wet. I will bring my umbrella if it rains tomorrow. Now notice here, this is a possible future. So the future is all about possibility. Possibility. It's all about possibility. So this could possibly happen. If I win the lottery, I will travel around the world. It is a possibility. I mean, somebody has to win. If it rains tomorrow, well, it just might rain tomorrow. I don't know right now, but I'll look at my forecast later and see if it will. If it rains tomorrow, notice here I have the simple present tense in the if clause. The if clause, simple present tense. However, in the main clause, I have the future tense. I will bring my umbrella. If it rains tomorrow, I will bring my umbrella. So that means it's a possibility. So if this becomes true, then this will also be true. So if the condition is true, the result will be true. The third kind of conditional is called the present conditional. Now, different books call these different things. Just to review, there are some books that call it the conditional 1, conditional 2, and conditional 3. They combine the general and the future for conditional 1, and they call the present conditional conditional 2, and they'll call the past conditional conditional 3. So just different books teach this different ways. The present conditional will be something like, if I were you, comma, I would tell the truth. If I were you, I would tell the truth. Now what is happening right here? Even though this is the present conditional, you're not going to use the present tense. The present tense is used when it's the future conditional. This is the simple past tense. If I were you, I would tell the truth. So you use the simple past tense in the if clause, and you use would plus the simple form in the main clause. I would tell the truth. I want you to notice something right here. Normally you say, I was. But after if, you say, I were. Why? Well, this is kind of a carryover from Old English, but educated people still do this. It's called the subjunctive. Don't worry about the name of it, but educated people still they change was to were after a conditional if. So if you want to sound educated, you are going to do this and not say, if I was you, but you'll hear that on the street. But if you want your English to be a little bit better, a little bit more formal, you say, if I were you, I would tell the truth. So just practice that a number of times. If I were you, I would tell the truth. If I were you, I would tell the truth. And by the way, that's a good way to give people advice, because you're not giving advice directly to somebody. You're saying, if I had that problem, this is what I would do. If I were you, I would tell the truth. So, simple past in the if clause, and would plus simple form in the main clause. The past is a little more difficult, so in my website I have actually saved this until the advanced conditional page, but I want to introduce it right here, even though you're not going to see any exercises with this on this particular page. The past conditional is a good example. Let me see. If I had studied, S-T-U-D-I-E-D, if I had studied, comma, I would have passed. All of that is a verb. I would have passed the test. Now this is used, I would have passed the test. This is used when it's too late. So you did something wrong, and now it is too late. And you're just kind of thinking, well, if I had done it differently, then I would have passed the test. If I had studied. So notice this tense here is the past perfect. So in the if clause, you're going to use the past perfect. If I had studied, and then in the main clause, you use would and have, and then the past participle. So this last word here is not the simple form, it's the past participle. Would have passed. That's one of the reasons why I saved this for the advanced pages. Okay, if I had studied, I would have passed. So just to review over here, when you have a general conditional, you're going to use the present and the present. Present in the if clause, present in the main clause. When you have a possible future, you're going to use the present tense in the if clause. Do not use future here, only present tense, but you will use future in the main clause. And by the way, you don't just have to say will, you can say I am going to, or yes, I am going to bring my umbrella. Or the present continuous, which is also future, I am bringing my umbrella. So you can use any of the three futures here. It doesn't have to be the word will. When you have the present conditional, you're going to use the simple past, and remember to change was to were, and then you're going to use would in the simple form in the main clause. And when you have the past conditional, you're going to use the past perfect in the if clause, and would have in the past participle in the main clause. One more thing, you don't have to use the word, let me see if I go to bed, if it rains, will. Okay, in the conditional, in this future conditional, you don't have to use the word will. As I said before, you can use any of the other conditionals. But you can also say can. I can bring my umbrella. You can also say may. I may bring up my umbrella. So you can substitute for this word will, you can substitute any of these three words. I will bring my umbrella. I can. Now can means possibility, so you'd only use it when you're talking about possibility. And I may bring my umbrella when you're talking about, can is ability and may is possibility. So if you have the ability to bring your umbrella, you say I can. I can bring my umbrella, or I may bring my umbrella. Over here, you can do the same thing with would. You can say, I would tell her the truth, I could tell her the truth, and I might tell her the truth. Again, could is for ability, and might is for possibility. I know there's a lot of information right here. That's why you need to study this page very, very carefully. And make sure you know it before you do the quiz at the end of it. Okay? Good luck. Bye for now.